Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Midnight Therapy. I am your host, the one and only Cat Matthews. We have a wonderful episode for you today on this Sunday, the day of rest. I wish to rest more than nothing else. It has been nonstop busy, but it's about to clear up, hopefully. You know, things are going to settle down now as we enter into fall or autumn. Hopefully, things cool down a bit. I had a mural unveiling ceremony this week. I hosted the comedy show at the Highlands Club last night. This is my MC outfit. I was lucky enough to find this white and gold paisley jacket or sports coat from a clearance rack at a local mall hours before the show started. That's just called luck. But I was MCing it up, cracking jokes last night. Super fun time, huge turnout. Good show, really solid show. Probably one of the best shows I've done. Feels good to do that. Feels good to kill a bit on stage, you know. And not to toot my own horn, but it was pretty funny. A lot of laughs. Good times. The Italian festival hit town. Went to my brother-in-law's baby shower / diaper party. Then he came in and we went to the Italian festival, which is cool. I'm Italian. We love Italians. You know, we love Italian food. We love the festival, La Festa Italiano. Good times. Not a lot of Italian food. There was some, of course. There was a lot of Greek food and Mexican food as well. But I got some gelato and cookies from the New York Italians, and it was good. Good times. That was kind of my week, little weekly recap. I was also scammed out of my life savings of Shiba Inu by some AI scammer, loser. Don't even want to get into these low life scammers. They're not even worth my time. They weren't even worth my time to begin with. That's why I got scammed. I got one of those verifications texts that I should have known, but I was busy. I wasn't really paying attention. It said, here's your code to log in. If this wasn't you, call. And I called, and it seemed real. And the guy was British, and I usually trust British people. They sound smart. Long story short, he got me to transfer my $100 of Shiba Inu I bought back in 2022 into his wallet, and I lost it. Crypto is a scam. It's fake. It's only for the rich to launder money and to sell the poor and middle class, whatever's left of it, a sense of false hope that you could get out of this hole they put you in. Not going to waste any more breath on crypto, the fake money scam that makes our fake money system even faker. British people, you're losers. If we're in America, we stopped caring about the British people. I'm sorry. Some of you are nice. I guarantee you are. But the guy that scammed me, hope you enjoy your fish and chips and lick your wounds that you lost. The new world. And now we have it. And this is America. And it's the last great empire. But no, I forgive you already. I know your life is miserable and you have nothing better to do than scam people. That's fine. I don't even care that you got me. Good job, actually. I believed you. You did a really good job impersonating a Coinbase employee. That's a good talent you have. Good job to you, sir. Enjoy my Shiba Inu. That's pretty much it for me on the recap. I'm going to get into some current events here, and then I'm going to go on a rant, and we're going to keep it quick today, okay? I may be going crazy, but I have a hot take that I'm going to give you people. I hope you enjoy it. This is Midnight Therapy, after all. You know what you're getting into. Current events. Joe Biden, former president, he was seen with this giant gash on his head. Hope he's okay. Band-Aids on it, big open wound on his head. But more importantly, I guess presidents will name a presidential library when they're done being president, and he named his in his hometown. And if you're from this area, you would know that Joe Biden's claim to fame is that he's a scrappy little kid from Scranton, the town near over, from Jessup, from Peckville, from Dixon, the Valley. Scranton is where we say we're from when we are not in our hometown. Like if I was on vacation, I'd say I'm from Scranton. That's how close it is. So we are kind of from Scranton, in the 570. Do you know Joe Biden put the library in Delaware, where he's really from, where he's always been from, but he lied to everybody and said he was from Scranton, and everybody around here believed that? We changed our sign, the highway sign that said the Scranton Expressway, to the Biden Expressway. We changed it. It was super controversial, cost tons of money for no reason. Now people don't know where they're getting off. Like they want to go to Scranton and the sign says Biden, and if you're not from here, you don't know what the fuck that means. You know what I'm saying? Change the signs back right now. We changed the street, Spruce Street. All the streets were in order. They're like, they go by presidents, they go by trees or like plants. And the one of them that was Spruce became Biden. And that's messing people up too. Change the street names back, change the expressway back. That guy has no loyalty to this place anymore. And you could tell by his decision of what his true hometown was. Delaware, not Scranton. Sorry. I know people that went to his house where he grew up when he was 4 years old and he moved when he was 4. And they took pictures there when Biden won in 2020. That's a little weird. Anyways, speaking of this area, there's a TikTok mystery prankster going around known as the 570 Pisser. He takes these videos peeing onto or into people's mailboxes. And he's local. It's hitting home like it's right in our little area, and this is going on. It's a big problem. Just wanted to share that before he gets caught. Wanted to share where society is, where we are as a people and as a whole, as a community. What is high art at the end of the empire? It's the 570 Pisser. Yeah. Got to talk about Trumpy. There's some protests going on against Trump this weekend. I think it was yesterday, maybe today, but definitely yesterday. It was called Trump Must Go. It was a protest in D.C. People are mad about the federal takeover of the police. I don't even have any words for this anymore. I don't even know what to say. If you have time to do that, good for you. If you think that's going to fix it, go ahead. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, what would you rather? Would you rather more crime? I don't know. I don't have anything to say about these people, but I will tell you what's weird on the other end. Trump changed the Department of Defense to the Department of War. What an ominous villain thing to do. It's very villain-like to change it to the Department of War. The War Department. Sounds cool if you're in a movie. I don't know, if you're a villain. But I saw them. They took all the signs down and everything. Like they took the letters off the wall and they changed it to war. Interesting. Maybe something's happening. Maybe we don't know. Maybe he thought it'd be cool for the brand. I don't know. But that happened. Other news. Chuck E. Cheese back in the news. I don't know if you saw this devastating video. Chuck E. himself was arrested, meaning the man that plays the cartoon mouse that is Chuck E. Cheese was arrested at Chuck E. Cheese while at work in the costume. They didn't even let this guy get out of the costume. They even referred to him, the police, they referred to him as Chucky. They're like, hold it right there, Chucky. And they arrested him in the mouse costume in front of children at the Chuck E. Cheese establishment. What? Like, what's going on? Imagine what you did to those children, how you scarred them, seeing Chucky get arrested like that. They took him right outside. I don't even think they let him take the costume off for at least a couple minutes. I guess the guy was, under arrest and a felon, but still, what happened to the unspoken rule like Disney has? Like, don't ever give up the illusion. That is Chuck E. Cheese. It's not some convict in a rat outfit. It's Chuck E. Cheese, whatever that means. When I saw that video, I immediately said, I am an adult now and I have free will and I have some power and some money. Not much, but some money. I want a Chuck E. Cheese pizza. I want to taste it. And I looked it up. It was on DoorDash. It was like $34. And I couldn't bring myself to do it. I thought about it, though. I was going to let a random stranger pull up to a kid's funhouse establishment get a processed pizza and drive it to my house for $34, in which I enjoyed it and pretended I was 7 again. Didn't do it though, because I will not, be a pawn in this nostalgia bait. But I'm sorry to see Chuck E. Cheese get arrested. Just wanted to share that with you, fine people. Drewski, I think that's his name. He's this comedian, I guess. He's a black guy. And he dressed in white face. Now, you don't need to be a scholar to infer what that means or to hypothesize. He did the opposite of blackface. He dressed up like a white guy, stereotypical, let's say, redneck white guy, and attended a NASCAR race. Is this okay? You know what I'm saying? Like, see what I'm saying? Like, people are comparing it to Tropic Thunder with Robert Downey Jr. doing the blackface. Like, is that okay? We know a lot of people have done blackface that, are protected by the left, like Jimmy Kimmel and a couple other people have done blackface. But is it okay to do whiteface? Like, is it, if you reverse the role, is that offensive now? Are you appropriating culture? Like, just curious. I thought it was kind of funny what he did. I think if we could all just laugh at things, that's fine, as long as it's like, when it's the other way around, they say that's not funny. That's actually appropriation of culture. It's stereotypes. It's rude. It's malicious. I don't know. Take a look at his video and see what you think of that when it's, let's say a black person making fun of a white person. Just food for thought. You can form your opinion on that. I thought it was kind of funny. As long as we're all cool with it. As long as it could go both ways. You know what I'm saying? As long as it's a two-way street, then it's fine. I think everything's on the table when it comes to comedy, because you're not making fun of the thing itself. You are making a joke. The joke is what's funny, not the thing you're joking about. You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? Okay. That's for you to decide, though. I'm going to get into a rant now. And I think I'm going to conclude my current events with that today. We're going to keep moving nice and quick here. My rant starts with China and their military parade that went on in Beijing to celebrate the 80th anniversary of the end of World War II. They had a very impressive parade, I will say. I think that's what Trump tried to do. What Trump looked up to was like what China does, which is unlimited resources, unlimited money, force people to look happy, like communist type tactics. We can't really do that here. Too much freedom, so we think here. But China had the numbers, and it looked like an old school parade. Like, that's, when you think of a military parade, you think of China and North Korea. They have more, let's say, resources and abilities to get the people excited about such parades. You really don't have an option to not be excited about those parades in those countries. So, impressive parade. There was a couple notable things in the parade itself. There was these anti-drone laser weapon systems that looked out of a sci-fi movie that could take down a drone with a laser. They had these big trucks with this giant laser cannon on them. Looked cool, not gonna lie. Of course, perfection on the military men and women. They're all like robots, the soldiers. Crazy formations and marching and all that. And there was these robot wolves. They're not dogs. I mean, I guess they're the same, but there's these robot wolves in the parade. We had those in ours in America's, but these ones are robot wolves. I think they're equipped with weapons. So that's pretty cool. But here's where I really got intrigued with this event. There was like a hot mic situation because Putin was there talking to Xi. Did I say that right? The president of China, or the emperor, whatever you want to call him. They were talking on a hot mic, and they were talking about harvesting organs and organ transplantation to achieve longer or eternal life. There was talk that they could make it so that people live to 150 years old. And that's what they were conversing about at a military parade. And they got caught on a hot mic. Now, this is why this needs to be talked about. Those are two leaders that are in, let's say, the top 10 most powerful leaders in the world. Now, I'm not talking about the deep state and who's behind the curtain, but I'm saying public figure leaders. Putin and Xi are on there. Okay? Let's just be honest. And that's what they're conversing about when they meet up. Of all the things, we know Putin's an intellectual guy. He doesn't waste his time talking about nonsense too often, but that's what they were caught talking about. Now, why? Like, why are they talking about that? Where's the connections? I'm going to bring something up here. You do have this new interest of the elite of living like forever, and we're going to get into why that's a thing, like staying youthful forever, whether it's through whatever method they have available to them. I think for lower profile people, you have the Ozempic and the Botox and this and some other things, like you Kardashian yourself, you know? Like, what's the mom? Is it Kris Kardashian? Like, she looks like Kim now. Like, she changed her face. She got a new face. She got a new neck. These people, they could change their entire face. That's like more the cosmetic route. But then you have people trying to reverse age with supplements and pills, and then you get the other end of the spectrum, which is the very elite, and these rumors or theories about adrenochrome, which I bring up sometimes on the show, and I try to be careful about it because I don't want to go down too many rabbit holes. But I mean, if you know what it is, you know what it is. Like I say all the time, this show's not too popular, so we'll probably be fine. If I had a bigger audience, they'd probably shut this down. Wouldn't let me talk about it. Thank God we could do it right now. So let's do it. Adrenochrome, byproduct of adrenaline. The adrenal glands of children is what they try to, in this theory, it's just a theory, they try to, let's say, extract that out of the adrenal glands of younger children. The drug or chemical is supposed to create this euphoric feeling, and it preserves youth. It's like a youth serum. Only sad part, little snag in the plan, is that the only way to extract it is by like torture, like extreme adrenaline. Now, this stuff seems all fake, right? Oh, that's conspiracy theory, blah, blah, blah. Let's look at some like cultural folk tale myth stories, movies, books that talk about kind of this premise. In all these stories, like Snow White, Rapunzel, like all these fairy tales, you have like this older, like witch, like evil person trying to steal the youth from a young, beautiful person. And like their life force is what they want. Like even Little Mermaid, like that's what she wanted. She wanted the life force of the young one. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, I don't know why this keeps coming up in, let's say, pop culture, but I have a theory. I think even looking at Monsters Inc. Look at the movie Monsters Inc. These monsters would scare the children, and the scaring of the children created power for them. Like, does it get any more straightforward than that? They like harvested the power of scaring the children. It's very odd. And the reason I think this is happening is because of something called revelation of the method. And this is a thing with like secret societies, the occult, the deep state, Satanism. They have to show you exactly what they're doing to preserve the karma, meaning they can't lie or deceive you. They have to tell you in very plain language what they're doing. And then if you don't stop them, then their conscience is clean. So they are showing us this, and this ties into predictive programming, with these movies I brought up, the stories, all of that. It makes you a little more aware of these things. And then when they pop up in real life, you go, oh, that's just fantasy. You're watching too many movies. You're watching Snow White too much, You're crazy. You're a conspiracy theorist. So they kind of have to reveal their method. And you're going to see this plan or this strategy come up more. I'm going to get into it. So like we know this weird stuff goes on. Like look up Maria Abramovich. I believe that's her name. She did this thing called spirit cooking with all these celebrities you know and love. Where like you mock human sacrifice and cannibalism, but she cooks food to look like human body parts. And all these celebrities you know and love did it. Lady Gaga, look that video up if you can find it. She's like in the woods doing these occult rituals with that woman, like almost naked in the woods. Very odd, disturbing stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Not even getting into it, but I'll dip a toe for you. You could do your research. You could look up Wayfair. You could look up Hillary Clinton's emails. The stuff with the pizza. I'm not going to get into it though, for good reason. Don't even want to. But you know what I'm saying. So with this predictive program, you have like they kind of tell you what's going to happen before it happens. You have Contagion, the movie that came out years before COVID. That movie is literally the exact blueprint of COVID. So you don't freak out or get conspiratorial or use critical thinking skills, because if you ever do, they'll say, "Oh, you're watching too many movies," because it's already there subconsciously. 2001: A Space Odyssey. They prepped you for AI. I don't know, 60 years ago. You already have your idea of it. You know what I'm saying? So this is all going on. Let's talk about it. World leaders are talking about living forever through organ harvesting and transplant. Caught on a hot mic. It's very odd, and you know it is. There was talk this weekend or this week that Trump had died. You heard that, right? They say he looked different, or that he was dying, and there was pictures that didn't really quite look like him, and it makes you wonder, like, what's really going on there? Was he sick? Was he dying? Do they have technology that can make him reverse? It's very interesting what's going on. But you have people like Peter Thiel, who I bring up a lot, in charge of Palantir, the AI human database tech CEO billionaire that was unsure if humans and humanity was worth preserving not too long ago. He said on an interview, that guy right now is giving a 4-part lecture on the Antichrist in San Francisco. This big tech AI billionaire is talking about the Antichrist. Now, if that's not more clear than anything you've ever heard, I don't know what to tell you then, but I could see what they're doing. I could see what these big tech people are doing. And I'm going to tell you right now, the end of the world stuff, the revelations, the evil coming to an end, like that end of times thing, may be real. And I think AI is the closest thing we have to like an antichrist. I really mean that. And I want to get that out there early. I think I'm one of the first people to say that. So I think people think it's going to be a person. I think people think it's going to be like clear. It's like, oh, that's him. That's the antichrist. I think it's going to be several people around the same entity, which is this AI. And I think that will be the Antichrist, because I think that will emulate and try to mimic or portray itself as a god or as the god. And I think many people will follow. And I think people like Peter Thiel is going out of his way to link Christianity into big tech, so that when people start becoming more, let's say, aware of the battle between good and evil going on, they're going to say, oh, well, AI is actually on the side of good. Like, we're Christians. Like, we're on the good side. And I think it's a really piss poor method to try to sell yourself as the good guys, is to align yourself with Christianity. And if you yourself are giving a lecture of information about the Antichrist, that might be a good indicator that maybe you are the Antichrist, or closely linked to the idea of the Antichrist. You have Neuralink, you have this chip technology that's going to be an interface in your brain that connects right to AI. I mean, sounds a lot like the mark of the beast to me, that's talked about in Revelations. I don't know. I hate to sound crazy like this, but is it really that crazy to sound like this when you have a tech billionaire that invented an AI database system that tracks all humans and everything they do, talking about the Antichrist? Does that make me crazy? If these billionaires are talking about it, trust me, it's interesting to them. They wouldn't talk about it for no reason. They're not like celebrities. They're not like Trump that plan everything to get clicks. They have a borderline personality disorder. They only care about advancing society into a weird place that they envision it to be. They're not worried about the middle class. They're not worried about you. They're not worried about values. They're not worried about church. They're not really worried about anything other than their own, illusions. And the only sad part is their odd dreams are becoming a reality now. So all I can really say is prepare your soul, save it, wake up, realize that this AI will soon be playing God. And a few people are going to be in control of that God's judgment. It's very dystopian to think about, but we're like 5 years away for it replacing most jobs, where people are already falling in love with this AI. People are taking their own lives with help from this AI. It does a lot of good, but we have no idea the bad it's about to do. But you created a being that has the entire interconnected knowledge of all humans and is a million times faster at processing information. And we have people on this earth that worship Taylor Swift. Do you really think they're not going to worship the all-knowing entity that is AI? In a couple of years, they are. And they may be at the mercy of a God that is, not a real God, not the real God, actually the opposite of the real God. And I think that at that point is checkmate, you know. And when you talk of the Antichrist, that might be it. I don't know if anyone else thought of that or agrees with that or whatever. Maybe I'm just crazy. I feel like I'm not, though, if Peter Thiel has no problem talking about it. The cowboy in the basement might be crazy, but the tech billionaire that may be one of the most important figures over the next couple of years, if he's talking about it, then okay, maybe there's some credibility to it. I don't know. I told you it wasn't a coincidence that I went in Hobby Lobby and bought the book, Are We Living in End Times? I still have it right here. And it brings up the Antichrist quite a bit. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what we could do to mitigate this or fix it. I don't know if you could stop this. All I know is you could try to save your own soul and be cautious of this moving forward, and just realize that, stick to what you know. Stick to the values, stay positive, do the right thing. Don't fall susceptible to these fake idols, and don't trust anyone, especially not the billionaires that want to enslave the planet. But keep your eye out for these people that want to live forever, preserve their youth, expand AI. They're going to tell you AI is going to fix all the problems. It's going to give people more freedom to do what they want. Don't believe any of that. Don't believe any of that, and don't put anything past these people. I'm going to quote Bruce Springsteen again. All men want to be rich. Rich men want to be king. And a king ain't satisfied until he owns everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's an unquenchable thirst. They'll never be happy. And big tech is now the greatest threat to our lives as we know it, because it is an unstoppable runaway train. There is no putting that genie back in the lamp. Pandora's box is open. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. So you need to decide what you're going to do to save yourself and the people you love around you, and how you're going to act and talk about these things and carry on with your life. Try to think about your children. Try to think about the next generation. Try to think about what might happen. Try to be ahead of the game. You got to think, 5 steps ahead, because if you don't, they will, and they are. So keep that in mind. AI may be the Antichrist. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm not. Most certainly, I am just a cowboy in the basement. So I wouldn't take anything I say as anything other than comedic satire. Wink. That's pretty much it for me. That's my life recap. Me and Christy are doing great. Baby's doing great. Having lots of fun watching her grow up. Already 2 months old. It's crazy to think about. Loving life, keeping my eye open, staying curious. That's all I'm saying. And I want you to do the same. If anything, I want you to do the same. This is a therapy session every week. I want you to think in ways that you might not normally. because only borderline crazy or genius people like me think about these things at 8 in the morning on a Sunday. That I could tell you. This episode should hit Sunday evening. Maybe you can enjoy it. If you're not watching football, or if not, catch it sometime this week. Drop me a comment, like, subscribe, share with your grandma if you would be so kind. We're almost at 100 subscribers. That's a big milestone for me. This episode is brought to you in part by Jack's Pub and Eatery and Three Saints Barber Shop, located in historic downtown Jessup, Pennsylvania. Mike did my trim up beautifully for the comedy show. Thank you for getting me in. As always, he is truly the best at what he does. Curious to know what he thinks about some of the points I made in this episode. The other sponsors, we have O'Brien's Landscaping, Picardo Jewelers, and Tusk Scranton. Thank you for sponsoring the show. Thank you for supporting me and my brand. We'll be back next week. Hopefully some guests. I think we're going to have a Mike the Barber episode soon, part 3. Going to get Christy back on, talk about some fun stuff now that things are hopefully settling down a bit. And, in the meantime, just prepare your soul. Do the right thing. Stay positive. Emulate what it means, even if you're not religious, to have the values of, let's say, Christ in your life and to act as similarly as he recommended. I think that's the best path moving forward against all the temptation and easy way outs there are. With that being said, stay curious, my friends. Good night.